How can this be? It's my 100th video. Why? 101? I lied. I'm sorry. Boys, a new era of TFG has begun. Okay, maybe not a new era per se, but I finally got an upgrade. That's right, I finally own a tripod. Now you might be thinking, wait, this whole time you've been doing YouTube, you've never owned a tripod, and it's a little embarrassing, but no, I've actually never owned a tripod until now. Yeah, I know, it's kind of sad. So if you're wondering how I did videos in the past, well, it's kind of embarrassing, but basically what I did is that I would take my old Gundam boxes, stack them up, and then I'd get my phone that has a little kickstand on it, and I would set my phone on top of the Gundam boxes with the kickstand, and that was how I would do my videos, and it worked for a bit. But now with this, I can have more range of options, basically, because you know it's an actual tripod, so I can actually get better camera angles. I can actually have my camera more steady, and I won't have any more awkward reach arounds. And yeah, I'm excited to see how this new tripod goes, and I got it for $4, so I mean, hey, for that price, can't really go wrong. So anyways, let's see how this review goes with the new tripod.
It's transforming! A Gundam!
What's up, guys? Welcome to the 8th episode of Throwback Review, a series where I take a look back at older kits I have built in the past, and as always, these videos are completely unscripted and have very little to no edits. So, on today's episode, as you can see, we are taking a look at the OZ MS-06 Leo from the series Mobile Suit Gundam Wing. Now, this is probably one of my favorite grunt type mobile suits. There's just something about this design that I really like. So let's take a closer look here at the details. So zooming in here for a second and moving the camera up, we can get a closer look at the face. It is the very iconic Leo face. It has some nice red hair going around the sides. It's got the nice clear yellow for the camera. And yeah, I mean, it's very basic. Again, this is a grunt type mobile suit, so you're not going to see any amazing detail. But you might notice that there are some green markings going throughout. That was done by me. Honestly, I don't know what I was thinking when I did that, but honestly, it doesn't look that great. It kind of looks like a child just kind of drew all over it with a green marker, and I wish I can get rid of it, but unfortunately, I just haven't been able to yet. So yeah, you're gonna have to just stare at that throughout the review. Just try to ignore it. But anyways, getting back into the details here, for the colors, we get a nice olive green throughout most of the body. Get some gray for the joints, and I mean, basically that's about it. And we get a kind of dark grayish brown color here for the feet. Again, this is a basic grunt type mobile suit, so you're really not going to expect much. But I really do just dig this design as well. The chest looks really cool. It's got some nice cannons up here. It's got a weird handle thing, which is probably for the pilots actually getting into the actual cockpit itself. Probably helps with that. Got some weird placements for the thrusters. We got a crotch one here, and we got two butt thrusters here, which I think are kind of funny. We got some nice long slender legs going here. And on the back, I already kind of showed that off a little bit. Here's a closer look at those butt thrusters. And here's the back. Besides the ugly green marker, it does have some nice details, you can see. And the arms just look very basic as well. It's got some very weak looking shoulder armor here. And yeah, just a nice slender looking grunt type mobile suit, and overall I do enjoy the design of this. So zooming back out here, let's very quickly get into the articulation. Now this is surprisingly Has surprisingly good articulation considering how cheap this kit is. However, you'll see as soon as I start to move it, due to some of the joints that this kit uses, it does like to fall apart really easily, just because they want to really simplify this kit and make it really easy and fast to assemble. So let's get into it. The head is on a ball joint, however it is very limited just due to the design with these guns on top of the chest here. It really limits the head articulation, so you get a little bit of side to side and not really any up and down at all. So the head is basically just stuck into place there. Now the arms can rotate a full 360 degrees. Of course, it's on a ball joint. You'll find a lot of these joints are just simple ball joints, which while they do allow a good range of motion, unfortunately when it comes to the stability of the kit, ball joints are not the most stable joints in the world. As you can see just how easy it was for me to pull that off the ball joint here in the chest. But it's easy enough to just pop back on to place. It's just not the most secure connection in the world. Now there is a butterfly joint, as you can see. Get a little bit of movement there, and this polycap does pop out ever so slightly there, as you can see, but not really too much there. Now attaching the arm back on, you can go out about let's see, about that much any further, and it just kind of falls off the ball joint in there. So now for the shield part, as you can see, it is attached to a hinge joint, so this can hinge up and down, and the shield itself is just attached by a ball joint in there. So of course it can rotate a full 360. It can go up and down, side to side. And for the biceps, it can rotate. The arm bin is at a double joint, so you get a nice bin out of that. And the hands are just on basic ball joints, so it can rotate full 360, go up and down, side to side. Now you already saw that this armor piece can also move side to side a little bit, and the articulation on this arm is exactly the same. Now the waist, as you saw, is just on a ball joint, so you can rotate a full 360, and you get a little bit of up and down motion and side to side. Now because of the front skirts are so small, it doesn't really hinder the leg articulation too much, but the front skirts can move separately, and the instructions, they actually advise you to cut the front skirts down the middle, because originally when you cut them off apart, they are combined together. So if you don't cut them, these would actually be moving together instead of separately. So I'm glad that the instruction manuals have started to point out that, hey, if you cut the front skirts, you can actually get them to move separately from each other if you want. So these can move separately. These side skirts are just on little ball joints, so they can wiggle around and rotate a little bit, but again, they don't really hinder the leg articulation too much here. And of course, these butt thrusters don't really move at all. So now for the hips, there is a little bit of a shimmy movement going on here in the hips. You can kind of see the joint in here. They've been using this joint on high grade kits for a while, and just kind of helps with leg posing. If you want like one leg to be closer in front than the other, then you can do that. So that's pretty nice articulation, and the legs can kick up very nicely there, about that much. Can go back a little more hindered just because of the fact that these thrusters in the back don't move out of the way. And going out, it can go out no problem. You can do the full splits very easily here, as you can see. And now you might notice that the leg fell off. That's very common, just because, as you can see, it is attached via a simple ball joint there. And because of that, you do get a little bit of up and down motion, side to side, and rotation, but these legs just fall off extremely easily. And also same with this ankle guard here, you might notice is on a little ball joint there. And one thing you might notice as well is that there's also a hinge joint here, so it allows a little bit more up and down motion for the foot. But you can just see the attachment here is just a ball joint, and then actually attach this part on first. So let's get this back in. Oh, okay, it goes this way. So this just attaches in here. Get this to focus so you can see how this just attaches and then this goes on top like that. I just realized this is actually on backwards. That's a little awkward, but let me actually just fix this off camera real fast, and we'll get back into the articulation. There we go, that looks a lot better. Now getting to the rest of articulation, I don't remember if I already showed this, but here is the leg bend. As you can see, it bends at a nice 2 joints here, and there's a bit of separation here at the kneecap. So that's pretty nice, and I think that's about it for articulation. These thrusters, as I said, don't really move. This thruster doesn't move either. And yeah, so that's it for articulation. It's honestly pretty good. It's just because a lot of it is ball joints, it does fall apart really easily, and I also have a problem with these kneecaps falling off, although surprisingly it didn't fall off during this video. But when you do move the legs around a lot, these do come loose over time, and they will fall off. And the same with this ankle guard. As you can see, it's very easy just to fall off that tiny ball joint in there. And then the foot falling off. Yeah, the main issue here is just the foot. They really should have made that connection a bit better. So all things considered, pretty decent articulation. There goes the knee guard, as I mentioned. So okay, anyways, now let's quickly get into the accessories. Since this is a basic grunt type mobile suit, you're not going to expect it to come with too much. So starting off, here is the main gun that this comes with, which I don't know the name of it. I'm sure it has a name, but it's the very iconic Leo gun, which has a very nice drum mag here, so it can fit a bunch of ammo. It has a secondary handle, so if you wanted to, you can get the Leo to dual wield the gun. And it has a nice little scope on here. And yeah, I really do like the design of this gun. It's very World War II inspired, I feel. And yeah, it just looks very cool. So of course, you can hold it in his hand very easily just by sliding it in. And if you wanted to dual wield it, all you have to do is take off the hand cover here. Then you're just going to put the other hand through the secondary handle like that. And finally, you're just going to take that hand cover, put it back on like so. And there you go. Now you can have the Leo Gundam dual wielding the machine gun. And yeah, it looks pretty cool. And there goes that kneecap again. Of course, as soon as I mentioned that it falls off, it starts falling off all the time in the review. So there you go. That's what the Leo looks like dual wielding the machine gun. Now, for other accessories it comes with, it does come with 2 pairs of beam sabers. Unfortunately, I only have one here. I lost the other one, but they're the same. You know, pretty basic beam sabers. Not really much going on here. Get a basic pink beam here, and yeah. So now, of course, you can also get the Leo to hold that in his hands just by plugging it in like so. Focus in. Okay. So if you wanted to, just have like the gun. Leo holding the gun with one hand, and then have the beam saber out with the other. You can certainly do that. Now, one other thing you can actually do with the beam sabers is you can actually store it in the shield here. So if you look here at the bottom of the shield, it does have a peg sticking out here. So what you want to do is just take the beam handle out and just plug it into the little peg like so. Now you might notice that the peg on the other side actually snapped off. So just be very careful when you actually come to take the beam saber off of the peg, just because these are so thin. If you're not careful, if you pull it off the wrong way, that peg will snap. So just be very careful with that. And so yeah, that's about it for the accessories. I guess you can count this shield as an accessory as well if you really wanted to. So again, just a basic loadout, but you know, it is a grunt type mobile suit, so it's not really going to come with a bunch of weapons. Now I do know that there is a bunch of different variants of the Leo out now that you can get that come with a bunch of different like flight packs and other weapons and accessories, but this is just what all comes with the basic standard release Leo. So not bad, you know. I do like the gun. The beam sabers are very basic. As I said, you get 2 of them. And the only thing is just be careful when you go to plug the beam sabers into those pegs, because those will snap. And yeah, that's really about it for this kit. So let me do some quick size comparisons and we'll get into my final thoughts. So starting off with a quick high grade comparison, here is the high grade AC Leo next to the high grade FC God Gundam. And you can see the God Gundam absolutely towers over the Leo. So next up we have the Leo, or is it the Leo? I've been calling it the Leo the whole time. But anyways, here's the Leo right next to the Beyond Global RX-78-2. And these wingsuits have always been a bit on the smaller side, so I think this comparison makes sense as well, that the Granddaddy Gundam would be a bit taller than the grunt type Leo here. And finally, just for fun, here is the high grade Leo right next to the master grade Heavy Arms Gundam version Ka. So getting into my final thoughts, the one thing I can say is know what you're getting yourself into before you buy this kit. This kit is meant for army building. The quality on it isn't amazing, but it does work very well and it is a very cheap kit. Now, it doesn't hold together well, but honestly, that is kind of canon with the whole series, just because of how easily these mobile suits get destroyed. But anyways, yeah, as I said, this kit is supposed to be a very cheap, very easy kit to assemble, and as such, it uses very basic joints, which, while it works, it doesn't hold together well. So just know that you're not going to get an extremely sturdy kit or anything like that. But if you are a fan of the Leo Gundam, or if you just want some grunt type mobile suits to fill out your collection, then you really can't go wrong with this kit. Now, I really wish they would make a higher quality version of the Leo, like a master grade version Ka would be awesome, but I don't know if we'll be getting that anytime soon. However, it would look nice with the rest of the master grade wing kits. Well, anyways, that's about it for this review. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, as always, don't forget to give this video a like. Leave a comment if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, and don't forget to follow me on Instagram, as well as join the Discord. A link to all that will be in the description below. And as always, don't forget to subscribe, as well as turn on that notification bell so you don't miss any of my future videos. So yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.